Shalom. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. We're going to jump straight into it. As you can see, the title of this video is Chaos as Federal Officers Go into a Latino Community in Minneapolis. So this federal officers is AKA ICE. And what's going on is that this devil is bringing hell on you northern tribes, man. And we told you that this was going to happen. Here you got so-called Latinos who are the northern kingdom of the nation of Israel, who don't want to regard their heritage or their nationality, their true nationality. Hell is going to come on you, man. Hell is going to come upon you, and this is just the beginning. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, he that do not seek the Lord, right, shall be put to death, right? All that hate me love death, Proverbs 8:36. And the Lord said that he was going to bring hell upon both kingdoms in this wicked ass country, Babylon the Great America. It tells you when you read Jeremiah 50:33 that the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall be oppressed together. Right? Where's that talking about? Here in America, Babylon the Great. So this is what you see going on. And I have about 4 clips showing you just the the whole process of how this is taking place in multiple cities. Right? It's like they're doing it simultaneously. Minneapolis, you got LA, you got New York, you got I think it's Colorado. You got a lot of cities, man, where this is happening at the same time. So this is showing you that this is a judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua on you so-called Latinos, man. Right? So let's play it. Matter of fact, let me get a scripture first. Because we are entering a time like never before. And if y'all think y'all exempt, you so-called Latinos, if you think you're exempt, you're sadly mistaken, man. You're sadly mistaken because this devil, he hates you the same way he hates the so-called Negroes. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? So we're in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Well, this devil is going to show you who he is. You don't have to believe us. We see you. When we out at camp and we see the Northern Kingdom, they don't regard the word. The only ones, through my personal experience, from my personal experience when we out teaching, the only Northern Kingdom that usually comes up and says, that actually want to hear the word is the so-called Puerto Ricans, man, the Ephraimites. You'll have the so-called, Ecuadorians, Mexicans, Dominicans. You'll have some so-called Dominicans that'll come up and hear the word or whatever, take heed to it. But we're not here to get brownie points for whoever come listen. Whether you listen or not, we still gonna be out there. But I'm just, from what I see in the spirit, is that the so-called Puerto Ricans, who are the tribe of Ephraim of the nation of Israel, they're the only ones that really come up and inquire, man. Right? The rest of the Northern Kingdom, they pretty much, whatever. right? But we coming into a time like no other. And it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Jacob is the forefather of the Israelites. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. That's where you get the Israelites from. So let's go through these clips I had. We're gonna stop it here and there, and bring out some more scripts. Yahba Shem Shah, willing to elect be other five. Shalom.
We got here, the ICE agents and the FBI were trying to like leave, and people were trying to stop them. People are upset. I mean, it's wrong what's happening all over, not just here. Somebody got hit.
He basically insisted on going through like the middle of people that were out there in the street. He stopped. I put my hands on the front of his vehicle and he gunned it.
And here you got so-called Latino police, man. See, whether you in law enforcement and you in this man's system heavy, he still hates you, man. And here it is, this is wrong, but yet you being a so-called Latino would, support this shit, man. Right? This is how fucked up America got you so-called Latinos, man. See, the so-called Negroes, we've been catching hell like this for a long time, man. But we've always, through the spirit, we knew what it was. And now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we connecting the dots, man. That the so-called Latinos are our brothers. Right? And sisters, man. But they don't really look at us like that. They come over here and they figure like if they just put their heads down and they just work and they show Americans and America that they can be law-abiding citizens, that they just stay out the way or stay out the sight of these devils, man. When you came over here and when you got papers or whatever, you was already marked, man. You was already marked for them to put hell on you, as you're seeing now. And don't get it twisted, it happens in law enforcement as well. Because they can't possibly think that, that this is okay and that they're cool with this. So this whole country is about to go in a complete unlawless lawless state, man. Where people gonna be unaliving each other and putting people to death on the spot, man.
Get back! Get back! Okay? Get back! Stay back!
The way that the police are showing up in force, no wonder there is such a confrontation between them and the people that actually live here in the community. We have no reason to trust them.
And that's just what it is, man. The devil never had it in his spirit to like you, man. And now a lot of you so-called Latinos, a lot of y'all are, wondering why the so-called Negroes are nowhere to be found to support y'all or whatever, man. Which we ain't with no well, us the men of the Lord, we ain't really with no goddamn protesting and shit like that, man. We cry unto the Lord, man. Right? But when y'all come over here in this country, you know, from your country, who destroyed your country that you were at first, man? The same man that's over here giving you hell, bringing hell on you, man. Who is he? He's the devil. He's the wicked. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, man. But you let that fly by you, right? You thought that his smooth words was for your favor. He told you whatever you wanted to hear. You come over here, you get a good life, you work, you can accomplish the American dream. And when you got over here, and the longer you were over here, you realized that it was a fucking nightmare, man. This is Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah. Hey, you come over here. This is the land of opportunity. We welcome you. You can make a life for you and your family here. Come on. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. We'll make sure you're good. We'll set you up. Right? This is what this devil tells you, right? But what does it say? It said, but war was in his heart. This was his whole mindset the whole time, man. To come down on you, man. With his anger and his hatred that he has for you. You didn't see this coming, man, because you trusted this devil. A lot of so-called Latinos, you know, they would rather be white. They would rather be an Edomite, man. They would rather their children deal with Edomites. But Jake, so-called Negroes, you don't like that, man. Right? And it's a two-way street. You got so-called Negroes that don't like so-called Latinos. But for as long as I can hear, for as long as I've heard and seen, so-called Negroes has always wanted that connection with the so-called Latinos, man, because everywhere the so-called Negroes are, the Latinos are, man. Why? Because we the same people. We are the same people, but you get caught up in that fucking skin color and you think that just because you're light, that is right? And you can blend in with the so-called white man, but this devil, he can't stand your ass, man. If you're not cleaning his house, right? If you're not taking his kids to school and picking them up, if you're not cleaning up his business, he don't give a shit about you, man. He don't want nothing to do with you. If you're not being a babysitter, right? Them small hats, man, they have those, I believe they're Ecuadorians or Guatemalans. They be having them in their house at 6 a.m. cleaning up, man. Them people are fucking filthy, man. And they do it and they don't say a damn thing. And they probably getting below minimum wage, man. But yet you could come out and you could use the nigger card and say, you know, these niggas and I don't deal with these niggas and this and that. When the so-called Negroes have never done nothing to you. The so-called Negroes ain't the ones that's going in your communities and giving you hell, man. They're not doing that. It's the same people you trusted in. Right? Let's read it again. Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. Yeah, this man, when he looks at you, he thinks of war. Right? He thinks of war. Right? We gotta do something about these Spanish niggas, these spiggers. Right? We gotta do something about them. And this is the time of trouble that you're gonna see this devil show his horns. So let's get this one.
Security.
Why do you come to a neighborhood like this? This is a
your face! Are you proud? Are you proud? Are you proud of yourself? Get the fuck out of here! Get out! These are our
This is happening in Minnesota, right? This is happening in Minnesota. So all the way on the West Coast, man. Show you how strategic these devils are. Right? And it's not only in this city. We're going to go in another city in the next clip.
Is this what you signed up for? Is this what you want to be doing?
Lower your mask!
Please. Don't do it!
See, the whole thing is these devils, they know this is the end of their kingdom, man. So these devils are looking to go all out. But before they go out, man, they're going to put hell on you tribes. And the so-called Negroes, you're not exempt. Right? The Lord is going to do something wonderful in the earth to where y'all going to realize that y'all are the same people and y'all catching the same hell from the same devil, man. And the Lord already prophesied that both kingdoms are going to come back together. When you read the book of Ezekiel, 37th chapter, man. When you read, what's that? Is it Jeremiah? Jeremiah 18. 3 and 18 and 19. When you read Jeremiah 16 and 19. Right? Let me see if I get the one in Jeremiah 3. All right, Jeremiah 3. Yeah, Jeremiah 3 and 18. It says, in those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers, man. And what land is that? That's the land of Israel, man. And the land of the north that is speaking about is America, right? The Lord said they're going to walk together. Both kingdoms going to walk together, man. Right? And this is the beginning. Y'all going to snap out of that stupor that y'all in. That Babylonian American mindset where it's all about love, man. Y'all going to see that everybody else getting love but y'all. Right? That's what y'all going to see. You know? So this devil, man, he putting the pause and that great wrath on the tribes, man. The Lord gonna let them turn it up. And you think they care, man? They don't give a shit. They don't give a goddamn, man, what you saying, what you're yelling. They don't care, man. Because these are the people that the Lord set up to be the devil and the wicked. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. And it reads, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from one end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, right? A nation of fierce countenance, no mercy, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young, man. You seen them, you seen ICE coming in, you know, locking up and deporting, you know, elder, so-called Latinos and young ones, man. They don't give a shit, man. They're heartless. They don't care, man. Right? But then what? This is the Lord, man. This is the judgment of the Heavenly Father on you tribes for being ignorant here in America, man. This is the judgment of the Heavenly Father. This is the judgment from on high. You ain't, you know, grasp the concept yet, but it's gonna hit you soon, right? And you're gonna understand that the men of the Lord was right the whole time. You're gonna see this, man. You're gonna see it manifest in real time. Now, this is in LA, and you know how they get in LA, man. It said massive Los Angeles protests erupts over worst fear, ICE raids. Right? This was Trump's plan the whole time, but guess what? A lot of you so-called Latinos, you went out and you voted for this devil, man. Which the Lord tells you voting is a sin, man. You're supposed to vote for them of your nation, of your brethren. The so-called white man is not your brethren. He's not your nation. He's another nation, a nation that hates you. You need to get it through your damn skull, man. Right? So the Lord said again, verse 50, Deuteronomy 28 and 50, he said, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young, man. So the Lord, he made these people to not show favor to the young or the old, right? And they got a judgment for them too. Esau, Edom's judgment is coming, man, and he knows this. This is why he's putting hell on you tribes, man. You're the only people in this country that go through this shit. You don't see the Chinese going through this, the Arabs, right? And even if they are, to hell with them, man. The Lord ain't dealing with no goddamn Arabs, man. He's not dealing with no goddamn Chinese or Japanese or Africans or East Indians or any so-called white people. He's not dealing with any of those people, man. He's only dealing with so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the Israelites, his people. That's it, man. Right? Deuteronomy, let's go up. Because, listen, ever since you came over here on slave ships, you have not had no rest. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65. It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. You catch hell here, man. You're stressed here more than ever. You feel like you're losing your mind. Why? Because these devils got you in a rigorous, you know, controlling, demonic society, man, that you ain't used to. But you wanna indulge in it because it's all around you and it bugs you the hell out. It says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And this is why you have these raids. This is why you have these protests. This is why you have people crying and just throwing their hands up and giving up, man. Right? This is why these things are happening to you, man. This is why you so-called Latinos are about to get, you know, crashed out on. Right? Because for the longest, you've had your in-house, you know, I'm gonna use the word racism against your brothers, the so-called Negroes. And the Lord clearly told you in the scriptures that you and the so-called Negroes are brethren. Y'all are family. Y'all are one nation. But yet you'll sit up here and say love everybody else. Let's love everybody. And don't get me wrong, the so-called Negroes say the same thing. And it sounds stupid as hell. Because the so-called Negroes are killing so-called Negroes and Latinos killing so-called Latinos and, mixing, in each other. Latinos killing Negroes, Negroes killing Latinos, same thing, man. But y'all would walk around and tell us, the men of the Lord that's telling you who you are and what you need to do and how you need to, conduct yourselves in these last days. You would tell us we got to love everybody. Get the fuck out of here, man. We gonna love these devils? You tell me you still love these devils, man. Tell me you still love these devils that's fucking putting a foot in your ass right now, man. Because the Lord said you ain't gonna find no ease with them. Right? And let's get it. Let's go here. Because you see the elect of the nation of Israel, they're gonna receive help. When this devil really, really try to, come down on the nation of Israel, because the scriptures speak that it's going to be an insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. When that happens, right, the elect get touched, the Lord's going to send the archangel, the top angel, Michael, right, to come down here and protect his elect. The rest of you Israelites, you ain't got no protection because what? You didn't want it. The Lord, stretched out his hand and you stretched out his hand and you smacked it away. When you heard the words of the Lord, you stopped your ears and you closed your eyes, man. You didn't want to see or hear it. So you're not going to be protected in that day. And whatever, we told you. This is Daniel 12:1. At that time shall Michael stand, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. He's only going to stand for one people, man, which are the Israelites, the elect of the Israelites. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble. And what trouble is that? I just read it to you. The time of Jacob's trouble. And we are entering into that. It says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book. And that's the elect. Right? Lord willing, we are of that number. Lord willing, we are protected in that time, man. Because your money, your nice car, your nice house, anything that you worship is not going to protect you in that day. Your gun, your crew, your family, your children, your parents, nobody's going to protect you. Nothing's going to protect you, man. The only one that can protect you is the Lord, man. And if the Lord ain't dealing with you, if you want to, be a damn demon in America and hate your people and love everybody else and be a fucking traitor, hey, check it out, man. Your ass is through and you're done, man. Right? And Salakia for the language, but this shit piss you off, man. It pisses you off. The Lord got clear signs, clear manifestations happening on the earth, and you people are not listening, man. You're not listening. You're not taking heed to it. You're fucking hard-headed, man. You made your heart as an adamant stone, like the scriptures say in Zechariah 7, man. It's crazy, man. Crazy. So check this out. This is in LA.
Authorities launched a series of targeted raids throughout the city of Los Angeles today. And tonight, a massive protest is taking place outside the LA headquarters of ICE. NBC News political and national correspondent Jacob Soboroff is there, and he joins us now. Jacob, I had just gotten a text breaking news notification in the New York Times about this protest, which seems to be quite large. What's going on?
Let me show you, Chris. So these are two protests converging at the same time here. I want to show you this one that's coming from the Metropolitan Detention Center which is the jail that is run by the federal government, or the county and the federal government downtown in downtown LA. It's converging with this protest that's coming over here. Scott Killian, why don't you walk with me? Chris, what happened here today in Los Angeles, I think, is the worst nightmare for so many people who live here. You know, Los Angeles is a largely so-called minority majority city. There are just as many people of color here as there are white people. In fact, 10% of the population of Los Angeles County, come with me, which is one of the largest counties, the largest by population in the United States, is undocumented. There could be as many as 1 million undocumented people who live here in Los Angeles. And what you saw today, and what all of these people are protesting, is large-scale immigration enforcement raids. What you're looking at on the left-hand side of your screen is this protest from the sky. The helicopters are directly above me. You saw, I'm sorry for the noise, but you saw tactical officers on things like Bearcat vehicles, flashbang grenades on the city streets of Los Angeles, which largely felt like, as some people described in local media, that the military was on the streets of Los Angeles. Historically, the Los Angeles Police Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. But when you have got ICE in Los Angeles showing up reportedly at Home Depot, where many undocumented people go to get work as day laborers, you know the National Day Laborer Organizing Network well. Many of those people responded in the wake of the fires here in Los Angeles. When you've got ICE showing up outside of places like schools, it quite literally is striking fear into the heart of people all throughout this community. And it is, I think it's fair to say, the worst fear of so many people here who live in Los Angeles and who have heard President Trump threaten that they would do this. But when this day comes on a Friday morning that stretches into a Friday afternoon, people in Los Angeles are mobilizing and they are very upset. You have Shirley here, one of the big NGOs here that fights on behalf of immigrant rights. Everybody is out today because obviously this is not to be tolerated by these folks here on the streets of Los Angeles, Chris.
Yeah, and just to be clear here, my understanding of these raids today, these were just workplace. It wasn't like there was some list of people who they suspected were dangerous or guilty of crimes. These were, we've seen more and more of these basically workplace raids, like show up to a place where people are employed and doing a job and go in, right? That was my understanding of what these raids were today.
That's exactly right, Chris. One was in the fashion district here, just around the corner on Alameda Street, down Alameda Street in downtown Los Angeles. Another one of them was basically, if anybody knows MacArthur Park, at a Home Depot near MacArthur Park. But the big worry here, obviously, is these collateral arrests. And we have heard statements now from the Los Angeles Unified School District, from the Los Angeles Police Department, from the mayor of Los Angeles, from many of the 15 members of the Los Angeles City Council, basically condemning these raids because of what they do to the ordinary person in Los Angeles, which is instill a massive amount of fear. I was talking to a young woman just a few minutes ago who.
And that's what you so-called Latinos are in right now. You're in the state of fear, right? Because to you're looking like, man, I'm just working. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not committing a crime. I just want to come over here and I want to get the American dream, right? And like I said, it turned out to be a nightmare, man. And a lot of y'all are gonna realize, man, y'all gonna wake up, right? These fucking protests and all this shit, you got hundreds of people in one spot. They ain't doing a goddamn thing, because once ICE come through that shit, you part ways, right? But like I always say, it's gonna come to the point where people are so fed up, man. It's gonna be people out there willing to die to stop these things from happening, man. And it's gonna get bloody. Right now is quote unquote peaceful, but it's gonna get bloody, man. It's gonna get bloody.
Who I lost her in the crowd, but her name was Erica Perez. She said her mother was just deported earlier in the week after Erica Perez, has been a firefighter for CAL FIRE, responding to some of the wildfires, not here in LA, but in other places across LA. The bottom line is undocumented.
And look at that, man. Here you got a woman who's a firefighter, a citizen in this country, firefighter for some years maybe. While she's out fighting fires in the U.S., her mom's is getting sent back to whatever country she's from. Showing you that this country don't give a shit what you do for it, man. They don't give a shit if you die. They don't give a shit if you put your life on the line. They don't give a shit, man. Right? This is a demonic fucking country, man. Right? It's a country that's built off and has pushed out draconian laws to pretty much keep people in the state of shackles, man. And it's mainly you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you Israelites. The Lord said, this is not our rest. This place is going to be destroyed, man. The so-called white man going into slavery, he going into captivity. You can't do a damn thing about it. You can't save them, right? This country going to be burnt to the fucking white meat, right? And that's the bottom line, man. That's what's about to take place in this place, man.
And people are in every facet of life here in Los Angeles. They are our neighbors. They are our coworkers. They are in our schools. And when something like this happens today, look at these signs. I just want to show you real quick. Scott, come over here. This is the message, and this is what they're worried about. Get ICE out of our schools and our communities, because that is the worst fear, as I said, at the risk of repeating myself, of so many people in the city of Los Angeles. Chris, this is, like I said, probably, in terms of the images and of the feelings people are feeling, maybe not reminiscent of a time of many living, young, undocumented people in Los Angeles, and very scary for so many of them.
Yeah, so you see it. It's getting real. It's getting real, man. They're saying keep ICE out the schools. Hey, it's not gonna happen, man. Trump, he gave the order, and everybody's with it. You so-called Latinos was even with it. You was even with it, man. A lot of you so-called Negroes was with it. Once Trump came out and said, yeah, he's gonna be the biggest mass deportation of immigrants the world has ever seen, and all of y'all clapped y'all hands. Y'all was all with it, man. But look, it backfired. This devil was looking at every last one of you. He wasn't looking at the ones that are undocumented, right? He was looking at every single last one of you, man, because I've heard stories where citizens was even deported, man. Right? So, hey, this man is coming down with the thunder right now. And the Lord said that he would. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time, man. So this is the great wrath that this devil is coming down on you with, because he know that he have a short time, man. His kingdom is fallen. This country is fallen. He feel it in his spirit that this is it. So what do you think he gonna do, man? He gonna have that Nino Brown spirit. If I'm going out, I'm taking a whole lot of you niggas with me. Right? I'm not going down by myself. That's the way this devil is thinking. Right? So this is my last clip. Right? So let's play it.
News right now on KCAL News at 10. The LAPD just issuing a citywide tactical alert.
Immigration protests continuing tonight after a day of ICE raids in LA. Police and riot gear moving in as protesters move around downtown LA.
And this was late this evening. Law enforcement firing tear gas at protesters outside the federal building. People in the crowd throwing that tear gas back.
The violence, the protests, the arrests, all triggered by widespread immigration raids across LA today.
We have team coverage beginning with Tom Waite tonight, who's live in downtown LA, where those protests escalated. Tom.
And Susie and Juan, it was an intense night, and it continues now. As you said, there is a citywide tactical alert, and that means that LAPD officers on shift cannot go home. Now, their tactics have been very effective where we are, not far, about a block away from the federal complex, the federal building complex where the detention center is. You can see the skirmish line of officers here right now. There's basically like just a handful of protesters still here, and police officers have been on the loudspeaker telling them over and over again, if they don't leave or if they come back, they will be arrested. This is just the remnants of what was a much larger crowd earlier.
And this is not happening to all the Israelites, man. This is all the Israelites are not going to be touched with this, man. Like I said earlier, the elect is going to be saved out of the hell that's about to come on the earth, man. This is for you wicked, not wanting to hear Yahweh Bashem Yahushua word, scoffing at the word, being a demon, hating your people, being a demon, right here in America. This is for you, man. This is for you so-called Latinos, and it's going to happen to you so-called Negroes as well. In another way, man. In another way. The Lord got millions of ways that he can get at you. Right? Psalms 125 and verse 3. For the rod of the wicked, this is the rod of the wicked, man. For ICE, law enforcement, the army, Esau, Edom, right? His system. It says, for the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. Right? Who's the righteous? The Israelites. So no wicked things will happen to the Israelites. What? Lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity, which is sin. And you got millions of Israelites that are in sin after sin and adding sin on top of sin, man. So this rod is for you, right? When you catch in hell, just know that the rod of the wicked has been placed on you for your iniquity, right? And it's only going to get heavier, it's only going to get worse.
And you saw just a couple of clips there of just how intense and, violent things got when activists and protesters started throwing things and objects into the federal complex and at officers and agents there, and they responded with some intense force. Tensions explode downtown at the Federal Detention Center. A crowd of immigration rights activists attacked law enforcement guarding the detention facility. Chaos ensued. It was a day of escalating anger in the Fashion District. This stunning scene, a military-style armored truck slowly rolling through. Surrounded by masked agents, as the crowd surrounded the truck, tear gas was deployed. Our crew was in the middle of it. At a clothing business nearby, agents made arrests. 18-year-old Katia Garcia was trying to see if her father and uncle were swept up in the raid.
I wasn't expecting. We didn't know nothing. Like, they just called us. Like, I was at school and they called us, and I had to come to school for my dad.
ICE says all told, 44 people were arrested. As the day wore on, immigration rights activists swarmed the front doors of the Federal Detention Center downtown, where they believed the detainees were being held. One man was arrested. Outside the detention center, a teacher from East LA got emotional as she talked about seeing agents carrying out an ICE operation outside a Home Depot in the Westlake district.
This morning, I woke up early to get ready for my students' culmination. Chiona, I'm sorry, y'all. It was supposed to be a good day. 3 blocks away, I saw day laborers running from our local Home Depot. I took off my heels, grabbed my megaphone, and ran in that direction. What I found devastated me. The food stands were empty. It was a ghost town.
As the evening wore on, activists got more confrontational, leading to this. And you're looking at live pictures once again of the skirmish line out here. The tensions have definitely come down. I mean, you can see there's really barely anyone out here. Many more police officers than there are people. And I'm coughing because on cue, really. I was just about to start talking about the pepper spray, the pepper bombs that they were using just outside of the federal detention complex, which I can see from where I'm standing, where all that stuff went down. We were right literally in the middle of it as things escalated. And at one point, we had to run inside the truck because it was overwhelming. The pepper spray and pepper bombs, a very effective deterrent in a very good way, clearly, to disperse a crowd. It's still lingering in my throat. It's not, horribly painful, but it is definitely something that you can feel. And we were in there for some time until LAPD came in and forced everyone out of the area, kind of forming these skirmish lines. And they've actually, let's pan over here, Andre. We have another group of officers coming down the street. I don't know if there are any protesters over there, but it does look like perhaps maybe that there's some other people.
And these devils, they having fun with this, man. They like to see you running and looking scared and in fear. They love this, man. They get a kick out of this. They can't wait to get up out their beds and do this again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. This is what this devil is all about, man. He's all about violence. He's all about bloodshed and making things uncomfortable. That's all he's about.
People in the let's see, a parking lot. It's kind of hard to tell. There's so many bright police lights here. Perhaps they're mobilizing to go to another area. We did hear that.
And just because you'll have some Edomites in the protests with you, you can't trust their asses neither, man. Right? The Lord said, never trust thine enemy. Whoever the Lord set up to be your enemies in the scriptures, don't trust them, man. Regardless if you knew them, if you knew them for a long time, don't trust them.
That there was other activity going on in other parts of downtown. So, right now, as I said, they are on a citywide tactical alert, and they are taking no chances to make sure that these protests don't reconstitute themselves. We don't end up with, the sort of violence that played out earlier. Back to you.
All right, Tom, we're glad you're feeling a little better there.
So that's what it is, man. I'm gonna just let it play out. Let's get this real. This is the last one. This is First Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 75, because the what's the word? The point has already been made, man. Right? The point is made. Right? I got nothing else to say, man. If you come across this video and it catches your attention, you send a comment, whatever. But this is the reality that's about to hit the nation of Israel, man. Mm-hmm. Right? This is First Ezra chapter 8, starting at 75. It says, "For our sins are multiplied above our heads, and our ignorances have reached up into heaven." The Lord's seen it all, man, up until this very day. Right? It says, "For ever since the time of our fathers, we have been and are in great sin, even unto this day. And for our sins and our fathers, we with our brethren and our kings and our priests were giving up unto the kings of the earth, to the sword and to the captivity, and for a prey with shame unto this day." And this is what you see, man. The conditions that our people are in, that they've been in, and the conditions that's about to befall them, man. This is why that great prince is going to come down here to stand for the children of thy people, man, which are the Israelites. So, hey, it's high time to wake up out of sleep, because we at the end, and you're about to see some things happen that you've never thought you would witness in your lifetime, man. Our people always like to say it ain't gonna happen in their lifetime. Well, hey, this is in their lifetime, man. And you got this girl right here. She was afraid because she didn't know if her dad was gonna, be caught up in the raid. I don't know. Maybe he did. But life is about to change for you Israelites, man. Here in America, Babylon the Great. Right? You're gonna realize how much your enemies hated you and hate you in these last days. So, I'm going to leave it there. Yahweh Shem Yahushua willing, the elect was edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Hey, until the next lesson, I'm going to say shalom.
Doors of the federal detention center downtown where they believed the detainees were being held. One man was arrested. Outside the detention center, a teacher from East LA got emotional as she talked about seeing agents carrying out an ICE operation outside a Home Depot in the Westlake district.
This morning, I woke up early to get ready for my students' culmination. I'm sorry, y'all.